Hey guys, gonna make this video. Basically, I was kind of debating on whether I should make this or not. To be honest, it doesn't really matter, but I thought in actuality, it would make a very good video, and it does talk about some Alabama history. Um, the reason why I'm making this video, um, or came up with the idea is I was watching this video on Nick Saban, and it says Nick Saban cannot compete on a fair playing field, and that is the reason for quitting. That title speaks for itself. They're saying that that Nick Saban can't play on a fair playing field. Basically, he has to do something to kind of like cheat or whatnot, and because it is now considered even playing field because now people can transfer NIL deals, all of that, which college football never had before. Is a reason why he is not one of the greatest football coaches. Because they did have an argument that they said, I responded, this is a sad disgrace to a legend. He brought Alabama from the dark ages to the dynasty it is today. Also, he is retiring from head coach, etc., etc. You can read it all right there. I'll put it sideways so you can read that all. Now, obviously, this guy, he responded, what about when he coached in the NFL? As you can tell, no response. Liked it, was like, whatever. Just so he knows, I'm not, like, hating him or anything, and then somebody else gets into this conversation with them about him in the NFL, and those are two different leagues. So, anyways, my whole thing on this is, I think he is a legendary college football coach. He is a legendary coach for sure. There's no other coach that has won 7 national championships. He's won 6 at Alabama and 1 at LSU. So he's won at 2 different programs. Impressive. He has gone, and I do see the comment of him making on this channel, Men of the Metaverse, or something like that. Men of the Metaverse. That, Jim Harbaugh won a championship. Now he's going to the NFL. But has he won a Super Bowl? He's won, and even if he wins a Super Bowl, he has won 1 championship in Michigan. That's it. Saban has done that 7 times, and he's had really good records almost his whole entire time, minus the first season, which still isn't a bad record. His overall record for Alabama is insane. He's only had like a few losses here and there. Getting into like what the records are like is insane. And this shows it all right there. Now, why do I have it on this section? They were kind of laughing, kind of figuring, like, what is this dark ages? And many people very much forget that Alabama had a really bad span. I originally thought that they didn't win a SEC championship, but they did in 1999. They had won against the Florida Gators. That was a total upset, 34-7, but never won during that span. So 93 all the way to 2007. So, yeah. Yeah, and they didn't even win their first. The last time they won a championship was '93, and didn't win one till 2009. It was just a long stretch, and they had a lot of bad years, like 4-9, 6-6. Mike Shula had 2 6-6 years. And I was a fan of watching Alabama. I thought it was fun. John Parker Wilson, Sean Alexander. I would watch it, because I just like college football in general. But yeah, my dad, he's a huge fan. He went to University of Alabama back when the Bear was the coach. So that's why I was exposed to Alabama, because my dad was always watching it. So, and that's why I went to the Rose Bowl this year, which I had no idea was going to be Nick Saban's last year. So I was also happy about that. And it was a great game, and Michigan played very well. Definitely Michigan, they deserve that championship. Every bit of it. But yeah, getting into that, Alabama had this really bad span of not really seeing much of anything as far as for championships and whatnot for a long time. SEC championship, and won for that whole time span. So that is what is considered dark ages of Alabama history. They had that coaching carousel going on, and do I think that this is going to be what happens for Alabama right now? It could very well be. I have no idea. I was pretty spot on as far as for the transfer portal. I said it was going to go nuclear at some point. People were claiming, the transfer portal is going nuclear. I said, no, it hasn't yet. Wait till after championship, national championship. And after national championship, 2 days go by, boom. You see, Alabama has 30 transfers to this day. 30 transfers that have left for the portal, and 5 have come to Alabama through the portal. Insane. So I think Oregon State, because that's really my team, is Oregon State. Oregon State has had, I think, 15 that we've gotten so far. Oregon State's been very silent. Not a lot. I live in Corvallis, Oregon, so I would think that I would be hearing a lot more information, but it's really been very silent. They had a big, huge craziness getting all those Colorado players, but that was because they all got sent away into the portal because Deion Sanders got a whole new offensive line, defensive line, blah, 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 blah. So, but I think Oregon State's got some really good players. They got new Michigan player that actually played on the team, wide receiver. So that will be very exciting to see. But yeah, and also they got a new quarterback. So they've been doing a lot this offseason, and it's still very early on this offseason. So I think, it's I was kind of a little taken aback, really, because being told that it was a hate comment. I was like, really? I didn't think so. I do think it is, a disgrace to a legend, and he is a legend. He's a legendary coach, legendary college football coach. And like for me, talking about college football, and then to then question NFL, which is different. That's just a little of it. For me, it was a little confused on that. Now, with that being said, Alabama has had like hundreds of guys to. I really wish that they had that I was able to have kept the. Yes, I think I have it there. Yes. There was an article on Alabama. No, it didn't work. I don't know what it's doing. I was talking about how many players had been gone into the NFL from Nick Saban. It was like 148. Yeah, 148. And yeah, that's a lot of it. Guys that have gone to the NFL just from one program. And how many of the guys in the NFL that are very well known have come from which program? Alabama. And a lot of credit should go to Nick Saban with the structure that he's put in place and the expectations that he has for these players to build success. So I think that if you look at his career and you look at it as a whole, as a college football coach, 100% legendary. If you're looking at Nick Saban as a football coach in general, he's still a legendary coach. Is he the best legendary coach ever? Blah, blah, blah. That's up to debate. But I never said he was the best. Even if they want to be taken out of context into NFL, okay. But yeah, as far as for being just a top tier coach, I mean, how many guys are you gonna want? How many guys are gonna want Nick Saban as their head coach? And like, how many football-minded players, that want to compete and win? I mean, look at all the guys that have transferred away because he's left. 30. Insanely more than any other program. And other programs, they've lost their coach. So, I mean, it's... Yeah, I think as far as for Alabama, what's going to happen for Alabama in the future, I don't think it's going to stop. I think there's going to be more people leaving. Will Alabama get more people in the transfer portal later on, or in the second one? Yeah, I think so. But it's... I figured with Kalen DeBoer being hired on as head coach, it could be one of two things. He is incredible. He's able to get these guys to really buy in and stick, and he's basically promising to stick with the system. All these guys are leaving, and I don't think he's doing that. I think he's working with Saban, wants to work with Saban, but really do it his way. And I think for some of these players, it's a little bit of a shock. This coach isn't, he's coached a lot of years, but he's relatively a young coach in Division I college football, like an FBS school. As far as for coaching, he doesn't have that much time. He has been very successful, and it's been insanely crazy. His win-loss stats, all that. He's been very successful at everywhere he's been so far. But the difference is that there's going to be a lot more. It's a different kind of competition, and he's going into an area that I don't know if he has enough experience in. Does he know the SEC that well? So I don't know. We will see. I think it's too early to say. Really won't know until the new season starts. So, but yeah, I just want to make this video very quickly. And yeah, I just wanted to respond to that. I was, like I said, a little confused. Definitely, in a sense, kind of felt attacked. And then it was a weird video response that they made. because they started saying how, oh, it was a hate comment. Which, I mean, you can take it any way that you want. If you want to be a hate comment, sure, whatever. Then you start saying that he's a really good coach, blah blah blah, this and that, blah blah blah, and then you get back to somewhat to what you were saying, and saying, oh, we're putting stats out, this and that. But yeah, if you're putting out stats, like, you have the stats right up here, and I'll show you, of looking at his records. Yeah, that's pretty darn good. Only having one loss, two loss, one loss. There was 1 year, 2010, where Alabama had 3 losses. And then in 2007, 7-6. Crazy thing is 2010 was, I think that was what they lost. Their third loss, I think, is what kicked them out of the championship race, and they had won in 11-12. So if they won in 2010, they would have four-peated. And I think that would have been insane. But yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't want it to get into this whole heated hate, blah blah blah, on something silly as this. I mean, I think it's pretty much, it's like, let the stats speak for itself. He is a legendary coach. Look at the championships. Look at the teams that he had. They were so dominant, well coached. This year, obviously, was just not. It was a very persistent team, but it was not a typical Nick Saban team. Made a lot of mistakes, and I think it was both on the coaching staff, some of the players. It was really collectively, there was a lot of mental errors. So either way, it is what it is. This is why I think Nick Saban is really good. I think he also saw that, it's just people change. It's as simple as that. People change, and he's 72. He still has some time to enjoy life and not just be like walking around and doing this and that or being taken care of and that kind of thing. He can enjoy life, and he's in great shape. I do know that I've heard of like some of the medical kind of rumors and whatnot and this and that. Which, if that's all the case, I mean, that's another reason why I would want him to retire. I think it's a good excuse, not excuse, but a good reason to retire. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he's necessarily running away because he's had an unfair advantage, and I mean, when you look at the teams that were around during this time, during the previous time, or during this time, was like Blake Sims, from running back to quarterback. He was committed to Alabama as a 4-star running back, then changed the position. You also got like Tua, who was like from Hawaii, and you got a guy from the other side of the country, Florida, all on the same roster. He put in a lot of work and did that, and he also had a lot of people that he could count on throughout this. So, I mean, I don't think he had any unfair advantage. I think that's what entitles, like, all of what being a coach is. I think it was probably the most complete coach, and did it the most consistently, and he was the most hungry for wins, and that's why he has the 7 national championship. So, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, and yeah, I hope everyone has a great day. Bye.